In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, State President launches New Year tree planting festival in Tuyên Quang. And investor confidence up after first trading sessions of 2024. In our war news, NATO's too ramped up defense spending.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. State President Võ Văn Thưởng launched a New Year tree planting festival in Tuyên Quang City, Tuyên Quang Province on Thursday, the sixth day of the first lunar month. The annual activity is held during the Lunar New Year, the Vietnamese people's biggest festival. More in the following story.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the ministry and localities have been determined to bring the Prime Minister's project of planting 1 billion trees in the 2021 to 2025 period to the finish line on time. In the 2021 to 2023 period, Vietnam planted nearly 770 million trees. Speaking at the launching ceremony, the state president said that since 1960, Vietnam has held the tree planting festival every spring in response to late President Ho Chi Minh's appeal. Planting trees has contributed to protecting the ecological environment, improving landscapes, proactively dealing with natural disasters and climate change, promoting socio-economic development, and improving people's quality of life.
The organization of tree planting campaigns must align with many indicators, including ensuring quality and efficiency in selecting native plants and multi-purpose forest trees. Trees must be suitable to each area's weather, soil, and crop conditions. Workers must ensure that the trees will have a high survival rate. Spring is the season of sowing hope. Tree planting is a beautiful, meaningful action. Trees are our priceless gifts for future generations. Trees are our lungs, so we need to protect and plant more trees with love and gratitude. Tree planting affirms that Vietnam is responsible to the international community in preserving and protecting the environment and will join other countries to solve global challenges.
The state president highly appreciated the province for always being a leading locality in forest management, protection, and development. He hoped that Tuyên Quang would continue to take more specific actions to promote the potential and strengths of forest resources and forestry land in improving the quality of life. On the same day, the state leader attended a ceremony to inaugurate a Tuyên Quang City road to the center of Yen Sun District.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính embarked on a tour of agricultural production areas in the northern province of Hải Dương on February 15, the sixth day of the Lunar New Year. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính operated a rice planting machine when visiting a location using rice seeding production trays and a mechanically sown rice field in Hương Long Commune, Ninh Giang District. He hoped Hải Dương will continue stepping up mechanizations across all agriculture production stages, new rural development and national target programs toward transforming the province into a hub of ecological and modern rural areas with a progressive farming community. The disbursement of public investment was reported at nearly 676 trillion Vietnam dong, or more than 27 billion US dollar in 2023, reaching 95% of the target, which is also the highest level so far. In addition, public investment has been restructured to focus on projects with spillover effect. Hundreds of national construction projects have been implemented and completed with this crucial funding. The spirit of just work, don't talk back continues to be spread in many projects and works from the first day of the Year of the Dragon.
This route will connect the northern provinces of Quảng Ninh to Lạng Sơn. All the workers are making a huge effort to complete the project before August this year as planned.
The whole construction site operated as usual during Tet. Starting this Tuesday, we escalated the process to complete ahead of schedule.
This year, the province was assigned $570 million as public investment capital. This assignment is relatively high, so work has been accelerated since the beginning of the year.
The province has been proactive in allocating funding and tasks to investors. The authorities just established a steering committee to oversee the disbursement of public investment.
In 2024, the total public investment assigned by the Prime Minister stands at $27 billion. The government and the Prime Minister identified problems and difficulties that sectors face whilst dispersing public investment. The disbursement rate reached 2.58% of the target in January.
The assignment has increased, leading to increased infrastructure construction works. Furthermore, once completed, those projects and works will create more economic growth drivers.
The Prime Minister also requested ministries, sectors and localities to focus capital allocation on important projects. In 2024, Vietnam strives to disburse at least 95% of the public investment capital.
On the sixth day of the Lunar New Year, work on the North-South Expressway, which passes through Phú Yên province, resumed in an excited atmosphere. The 48 kilometers long Chi Thạnh Vân Phong section is now almost a third completed and on schedule. In addition, immediately after the date holiday, Phú Yên will hand over the remaining 6% of clear ground to the investors and speed up the relocations of the electrical system to help accelerate highway construction progress. The Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange began its first trading session following the date Lunar New Year holiday with optimistic development. The VN Index climbed 3.97 points to 1,202.5. Cash flow is generally positive and liquidity is seen as high. Investors participating in the first trading sessions of the Year of the Dragon are demonstrating greater confidence about how the stock market will play out this year.
According to the New Year strategy report published by SSI Research, profits in the fourth quarter of 2023 have picked up significantly from the slump recorded in Q4 2022. Total after-tax profits across more than 1,100 businesses rose sharply by 35.3% against last year's period, the highest in the last 5 quarters.
Right now, I'm at full margin. I've focused on investing in bank stocks because of their cheap valuations and the fact that I have confidence in the potential of this sector. As for securities, I'm looking forward to a market upgrade.
This year, we have high hopes for the Vietnamese stock market. I think setting VN Index to reach 1,500 points is feasible when the price-to-earnings ratio is 9.
Market liquidity is expected to stay on an upward trend, partly due to the domestic market's low interest rates and expectations of foreign investors upgrading Vietnam's stock market.
We will curtail margin trading activities. It has been laid out in our planning and will soon be introduced to the public. This policy will affect foreign investors first and gradually expand its reach within the investor community.
Green dominated the first session of 2024, fueling investors with hope. However, experts have recommended careful monitoring of the market's ups and downs as they both were important real-time indicators of the market's health.
In Hanoi, supermarket and traditional market also started to reopen on Wednesday. This year, some places opened later than they did last year. On the first day of the reopening, the shopping atmosphere was very exciting. There was an abundance of goods and no price increases were observed.
Long Biên Market opens at 10 p.m. every Wednesday. The market is filled with trucks carrying agricultural products, catering to the shopping needs of the new year. While store remains open throughout date. The market offers a wide variety of goods in large quantities, attracting mainly wholesalers from various provinces.
All goods have sold out. The prices are even cheaper than last year. For instance, a box of imported apples could cost up to $274 US, but this year the price has remained the same, both before and after Tet.
This supermarket chain opened 2 days ago. The most crowded area is the fresh food section, where vegetables, fruits, and raw meat are consistently supplied fresh.
I just returned to the city from my hometown to work, so choosing a supermarket is very convenient because it has all kinds of items. Instead of having to go to the traditional market, I have to go to many different places.
Most families have gotten rid of the habit of overstocking food. In the past, after the holiday, there was still food left for several months. Nowadays, in big cities, it is convenient to shop at supermarkets, which open very early.
With the current purchasing power after 2 days of opening, we are ensuring a supply and customer growth of 15 to 20%. Additionally, the most chosen items after Tet are fresh foods such as vegetables and fruits.
At markets and supermarkets, there is an abundance of food items, and prices remain stable. This is a positive signal in the context of people's tendency to reduce consumption.
Coming up next on VTV News, factories resume operations after Tet holiday. And return of silk paintings by established Vietnamese artists. According to Bình Dương Province Departments of Labor, Work Balance and Social Affairs, 8,000 local businesses need to recruit 60,000 workers after the Tet holiday. Some sectors have relatively large recruitment needs, including food and beverage processing, textiles, garment and footwear, printing, manufacturing, repair, and installations of machinery, industrial equipment, electronics, and manufacturing products from wood, bamboo, chemicals, and plastics. The Province Departments of Labor, Work Balance and Social Affairs has directed the Provincial Employment Service Center to collect information on vacant jobs from businesses with labor shortages. The Ministry of Labor, Work Balance and Social Affairs has announced businesses have come back to life on the first working day after a long Tet holiday. In the capital city, data shows that approximately 80% of factories in industrial parks and export processing zones have resumed their normal operations. No labor shortages were recorded on the first day back at work.
Myco Electronics Company welcomed over 3,300 workers returning on shifts at their 3 factories. The company strived to offer workers a Tet bonus of a month's salary. Before the holiday, workers received 80% of the bonus, and the remaining 20% was received on the first working day after Tet.
We started at 7 a.m. All is so happy. I hope the company will have more orders this year.
This year we expect to increase the salary by 10%. We will try to ensure full-time jobs for workers.
URC Company welcomed each of its workers back to work. Stable income, guaranteed Tet bonuses, and New Year employment commitments are crucial factors in retaining workers.
The company signed many orders last year. I hope the situation remains unchanged this year.
Most workers have returned to work. There is no strike. The authorities will continue to monitor the labor situation and support businesses to stabilize their production.
According to statistics from the Hanoi Labor Federation, factories 90% of workers clocked in on the first day after Tet. By next Monday, February 19th, all businesses will return to normal operations.
These days, immigration activities at the Lào Cai International Border Gate are bustling, and all procedures are being carried out smoothly. The majority of visitors are Vietnamese tourists traveling to China and Chinese tourists coming to Vietnam for the Lunar New Year holiday. On average, more than 3,000 people apply for immigration procedures through the Lào Cai International Border Gate. Most tours are fully booked before date and have been operating since the second day of date until now. The Bai Ding Pagoda Festival kicked off on the 6th day of the first lunar month and will run until the end of the third lunar month. The festival attracts hundreds of thousands of pilgrims to the famous ancient capital city of Hoa Lu. After the solemn rituals, entertainment is laid on. People can play folk games, visit the entire complex, go sightseeing in various caves, and enjoy traditional Chao, Ca Chu, and some singing. Bai Ding Spring Festival this year is part of a series of activities celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Chang'an Scenic Landscape Complex being recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural and Natural Heritage Site. Artist Nguyễn Phan Chang is believed to be the founding father of Vietnamese silk painting, who possesses many globally recognized artworks. However, after his passing in 1984, much of Chang's art legacies deteriorated. Unable to watch silk painting cease to exist and motivated by the late artist's family, a group of Japanese experts have dedicated years of their careers to restoring the artist's silk paintings. Their efforts paid off as four of Nguyễn Phan Chang's silk paintings were successfully returned to Vietnam under the divine protections of his family.
The silk paintings by artist Nguyen Phan Chan were truly delicate ones. The silk itself was thin and made with extreme sophistication. In addition, he painted using watercolor and applied up to 10 layers to his paintings, adding more challenges to restoration efforts. It's a one-of-a-kind job for me.
Hide and Seek was created 85 years ago by artist Nguyen Phan Chan. Iwai Kikuko, in collaboration with other Japanese experts, has employed the most advanced technology to restore the work artworks in near-perfect condition.
I use paste to mount the silk paper on a flat panel, then peel off each layer of coloring before I start the restoration work.
After restoration, the paintings are placed in an airtight frame to prevent exposure to oxygen. This way, the paintings will be preserved in the best condition, with their color vividly intact. The restored Hide and Seek and 3 other silk paintings were then returned to writer Noyet Tu, daughter of the late artist and the inspiration for the painting.
We are over the moon seeing the satisfied look on her face. I must say that the recovery was beyond my expectations.
We thought we ought to do something about the painting in Tu's possession. It's almost beyond repair. We thought we had to preserve this priceless painting, or it would disappear altogether.
Over the past 15 years, these Japanese experts have restored 16 of the artist's silk paintings. They have also organized 3 exhibitions featuring the restored works in Japan. Currently, the experts are piloting a digitization project in 8K format to document the works in their best condition.
In 2007, at the conference in Ho Chi Minh City, the father of modern marketing, Philip Kotler, stated that if China is the world factory and India is its office, then Vietnam should become the kitchen of the world. 17 years later, although Vietnamese cuisine is increasingly making a mark in the international arena, whether the country has become the world's kitchen or not is still an open question. More to follow.
Vietnamese cuisine was already well known internationally before former U.S. President Barack Obama ate bun cha in 2016, and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese enjoyed Hanoi's traditional banh mi in 2023.
Not only ordinary tourists but also professional chefs appreciate and love Vietnamese cuisine. Vietnam is a global destination where we can enjoy one of the best cuisines in the world.
The world's recognition of Vietnamese cuisine has remarkably increased. Vietnamese dishes such as pho or banh mi appear in the Oxford Dictionary. Vietnamese cuisine is also applauded by many world-leading newspapers, travel and culinary magazines and television channels. Vietnam has enough potential ability to affirm its culinary brand and become the world's kitchen. However, there are many things to be done to realize this statement.
We have to produce food and restaurant within international standards. So first we have to improve the quality of everything. When we look at the restaurant, there's food, there's service, there's design, there's music, and all these elements have to be done well to an international standards.
Look, first of all, you have to have some very good campaigns running, because you are talking about the world cultural heritage. You're not talking much about food, because I think sometimes Vietnamese people was a little bit shy of their food. They did it with some simple, ordinary food, which made them maybe a little bit reserved towards going out a lot. But if you compare that with the flavor approaches and the flavor buds and the kind of wow cuisine.
With more than 3,000 dishes, Vietnam has a diverse and unique cuisine, which is not inferior to regional culinary capitals such as China or Thailand. 7 years ago, the Vietnam Culinary Culture Association was established, showing a determination to make Vietnamese cuisine a national brand. On the path to becoming the world's kitchen, improving the quality and value of Vietnamese cuisine will attract more tourists to Vietnam, enhancing the destination's competitive position.
Coming up next in our War News, NATO to ramp up defense spending. And Japan's consumers cut back as economy falls into recession. Secretary General of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, said that 18 of the Bloc 31 members are expected to spend at least 2% of their combined GDP on defense this year. The number exceeded last year when 11 NATO members were expected to reach the agreed target. The NATO chief added that it was another record number and a six-fold increase from 2014, when only 3 allies met the defense spending target. As conflicts in Ukraine heightened in 2023, the Transatlantic Alliance saw an unprecedented rise of 11% in defense spending across European allies and Canada. The Japanese economy unexpectedly shrank for 2 straight quarters on weak domestic demand. With this, Japan has entered what is called a technical recession. Japanese consumers are generally cutting back on shopping and dining out to save money. More in the following story.
In Tokyo's bustling Ginza district, esthetician Risa Shinka said she had been affected by a drop in pay.
My salary at work has gone down, so I've stopped going to buy clothes and eating out in order to save money.
Japanese consumers have also been hurt by the yen's prolonged weakness, which has driven up the cost of imports from fuel to electronics.
Gasoline and electric bills have gone up, so we've switched to an oil fan heater and are trying not to drive too much.
Because the Japanese economy is weak, the Bank of Japan, BOJ, cannot tighten monetary policies. Right now, the BOJ is trying to end negative interest rates in March or April. But the BOJ governor and deputy governor are saying, even if they end negative interest rates, they will still maintain an accommodative monetary policy. I think the fact that the structure of the Japanese yen is weak is why Japan has fallen to 4th place.
According to Japan's government data, gross domestic product, GDP, fell an annualized 0.4% in the October-December period after a 3.3% slump in the previous quarter. 2 consecutive quarters of contraction are typically considered the definition of a recession. The weak performance saw Japan lose its title as the world's 3rd largest economy, replaced by Germany.
U.S. President Joe Biden on Wednesday called on Americans to back his call for a ban on assault weapons. The statement was made following a deadly shooting at a Super Bowl victory parade in Kansas City earlier on the same day. He called on actions to ban assault weapons, limit high-capacity magazines, strengthen background checks, and keep firearms away from those unsuited to gun ownership. Local authorities said that more than 20 people were shot, including one who died from wounds in the Wednesday shooting, U.S. time. 3 suspects have been detained and are under investigation. It is the latest sports celebrations in the U.S. to be marked by gun violence in a normally safe part of the country. After half of the Amazon rainforest could hit a tipping point by 2050 due to warming temperatures, extreme drought, and deforestation and fires. This is a highlight from a study published on Wednesday. The researchers estimated that 10% to 47% of Amazon's current forest cover would be exposed to compounding disturbances that might trigger a wide-scale ecosystem shift. This would adversely affect regional climate change, given Amazon's roles in absorbing large amounts of climate-warming carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Earlier findings point out that the rainforest is steadily turning into a savanna with warmer temperatures recorded globally. However, this recent study has signified even more unexpected development threatening the world's largest rainforest. And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch the program, you can log on to vtvgo.vn or download a mobile application VTV Go. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.